Shakespeare's Macbeth story. Macbeth is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare that tells the story of a Scottish general named Macbeth, who receives a prophecy from three witches that he will become King of Scotland. Driven by ambition and encouraged by his wife, Lady Macbeth, Macbeth murders the current king, Duncan, and assumes the throne. However, Macbeth's reign is plagued by guilt and paranoia, as he becomes increasingly paranoid about anyone who might threaten his power. He orders the murder of his friend and ally Banquo, and his family, as well as a number of other innocent people, in an attempt to secure his position as king. But his actions only serve to deepen his guilt and accelerate his descent into madness. As Macbeth's actions become more and more brutal, Lady Macbeth also begins to lose her grip on reality, consumed by guilt and remorse over their crimes. Eventually, both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are driven to their deaths, with Macbeth being killed in battle and Lady Macbeth taking her own life. One of the main themes of Macbeth is the corrupting influence of power and ambition. Macbeth's initial ambition to become king is a driving force throughout the play. And it is his desire for power that ultimately leads him to commit murder and to sacrifice his own sense of morality. The play also explores the idea of fate and free will, with the three witches' prophecy seemingly setting Macbeth on a path that he is powerless to resist. Another notable aspect of Macbeth is its portrayal of gender roles and the ways in which they can be subverted. Lady Macbeth, for example, is a powerful and ambitious character who defies traditional expectations of femininity in her pursuit of power. However, her strength and determination also contribute to her downfall, as her guilt and remorse eventually drive her to madness. Finally, Macbeth is a masterful exploration of the power of language and the way that words can be used to manipulate and control others. The witches' prophecies, as well as Lady Macbeth's speeches to her husband, demonstrate the ways in which language can be used to influence and shape reality, and the tragic consequences that can result when that power is wielded for selfish purposes. One of the key symbols in Macbeth is blood, which is used throughout the play to represent the guilt and violence that underpins Macbeth's rise to power. Blood is first introduced when Macbeth kills Duncan, and he is immediately struck by the horror of what he has done. From that point on, the image of blood appears repeatedly throughout the play, becoming more and more prominent as Macbeth's guilt and paranoia increase. Another significant theme in the play is the idea of appearance versus reality. Macbeth is initially presented as a noble and valiant hero, but as the play progresses, the audience learns that he is a deeply flawed and morally compromised character. Similarly, Lady Macbeth presents a facade of strength and confidence, but she is ultimately consumed by guilt and despair. The play also explores the idea of prophecy and fate, with the witches' predictions serving as a powerful force in Macbeth's life. Macbeth initially dismisses the witches' prophecy as meaningless, but as events unfold, he becomes increasingly convinced that his fate is predetermined, and that he is powerless to escape it. Finally, Macbeth is notable for its exploration of the nature of evil and the question of whether it is inherent in human nature. Macbeth is initially presented as a hero who is corrupted by his ambition, but as the play progresses, it becomes clear that he is also capable of committing truly horrific acts of violence and cruelty. The play raises the question of whether Macbeth's actions are the result of external forces or whether he is simply revealing his true nature. One of the most striking aspects of Macbeth is its use of language and its exploration of the power of words. Shakespeare uses a range of poetic devices throughout the play, including metaphor, repetition, and imagery, to create a vivid and powerful picture of Macbeth's world. One example of this is the way that Shakespeare uses the image of sleep to symbolize the peace and innocence that Macbeth has lost. After Macbeth kills Duncan, he is plagued by guilt and is unable to sleep, while Lady Macbeth is also tormented by dreams and visions that symbolize her growing madness. Another example is the way that Shakespeare uses the natural world to reflect the events of the play. The play is set in Scotland, a country known for its harsh and rugged landscape. And Shakespeare uses the imagery of the natural world to create a sense of darkness and foreboding. The witches are introduced in the midst of a storm, and the natural world seems to reflect the chaos and violence that is unfolding in the human realm. Finally, Macbeth is notable for its exploration of the role of women in society. Lady Macbeth is a complex and multifaceted character who defies traditional gender roles in her ambition and determination. However, the play also presents a deeply patriarchal view of the world, with women often portrayed as manipulative and deceitful. Lady Macbeth's eventual descent into madness can be seen as a reflection of the way that women were viewed, as being inherently weaker and more unstable than men. Another important theme in Macbeth is the idea of power and its corrupting influence. Macbeth's desire for power leads him to commit increasingly violent and ruthless acts, and he becomes increasingly isolated and paranoid as a result. The play suggests that the pursuit of power can be all-consuming, and that it often leads to a loss of humanity and a descent into madness. A related theme is the idea of ambition and its consequences. Macbeth is initially driven by his desire to become king, but his ambition ultimately leads to his downfall. The play suggests that ambition can be a powerful force for good, but that it can also be dangerous and destructive when it becomes all-consuming. Finally, Macbeth is a play about the consequences of choice. Macbeth is presented with a series of choices throughout the play, and each one has far-reaching consequences. The play suggests that our choices have a profound impact on our lives and on the lives of those around us, and that we are ultimately responsible for the choices we make. Overall, Macbeth is a complex and multifaceted play that explores a wide range of themes and ideas. It is a powerful meditation on the nature of power, ambition, and choice, and it continues to be one of Shakespeare's most widely read and performed plays. One of the key elements of Macbeth is the way that Shakespeare uses character to drive the plot. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are both complex and multifaceted characters, and their actions and motivations drive the plot forward. Macbeth's initial ambition and Lady Macbeth's manipulation of him are what set the events of the play in motion, and their subsequent actions drive the plot towards its tragic conclusion. Another important element of the play is its use of symbolism. Shakespeare uses a wide range of symbols throughout the play, including blood, darkness, and sleep, to create a rich and evocative atmosphere. Blood, for example, is a recurring symbol that represents both guilt and violence, while darkness symbolizes the evil that is unleashed by Macbeth's actions. The play is also notable for its use of supernatural elements, particularly the three witches who prophesize Macbeth's rise to power. The witches represent a force of darkness and chaos that disrupts the natural order of things, and their presence in the play serves to underscore the idea that Macbeth's actions have upset the balance of the universe. Finally, Macbeth is a play that explores the human condition in all its complexity. It is a play about ambition, power, and the corrupting influence of both, but it is also a play about love, loyalty, and the bonds that hold us together. The characters in the play are flawed and imperfect, but they are also deeply human, and it is their humanity that makes the play so powerful and enduring.
The impact of Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth on society at the time. Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth had a significant impact on society during the time it was written and performed in the early 17th century. Here are some key aspects of its impact. Reflecting Jacobean society. Macbeth was written during the reign of King James I, who was also the monarch of Scotland before ascending to the English throne. The play reflects the anxieties and interests of the Jacobean society, including themes of ambition, power, and the consequences of political instability. Exploration of political power. Macbeth delves into the corrupting nature of power and the lengths individuals may go to attain it. The play examines the consequences of ambition and portrays the downfall of a noble warrior driven to regicide and tyranny. In a society heavily influenced by political intrigue, Macbeth resonated with audiences who were familiar with the dangers of political ambition. Commenting on the divine right of kings, Shakespeare's play also explores the concept of the divine right of kings, which was an important political and religious belief during that era. Macbeth's usurpation of the throne and the subsequent chaos that ensues emphasize the dangers of challenging the established order and divine authority. It conveyed a cautionary message about the disruption caused by political unrest. Reflection of gender roles. Macbeth also reflects the gender roles prevalent in the Jacobean society. Lady Macbeth's character challenges traditional notions of femininity by actively encouraging Macbeth's ambition and even questioning his masculinity. The play raises questions about the nature of gender and power, challenging societal expectations. Influence on theatre and language. Macbeth introduced innovative theatrical techniques, particularly in its portrayal of the supernatural elements. The witches' scenes, with their eerie atmosphere and prophetic utterances, captivated audiences. Additionally, the play is known for its powerful and evocative language, with famous soliloquies like, "Is this a dagger? I see before me," and "Out, damned spot." Shakespeare's mastery of language elevated the play's impact and contributed to its enduring popularity. Overall, Macbeth had a profound impact on society at the time, offering a reflection of political realities and challenging societal norms. Its exploration of power, ambition, gender, and the consequences of political instability resonated with audiences, making it both a thought-provoking and entertaining piece of theatre. Entertaining the masses. Macbeth, like other plays by Shakespeare, was performed in public theatres and was accessible to a wide range of people, including the lower classes. It provided entertainment and escapism from the daily struggles of life, allowing audiences to immerse themselves in the dramatic world of the play. Influence on language and culture. Macbeth introduced numerous phrases and expressions into the English language that are still in use today. Famous lines such as, "Fair is foul and foul is fair," and "Something wicked this way comes," have become well-known idioms. The play's impact on language and culture extends beyond its original performance, leaving a lasting legacy in the English-speaking world. Political commentary and censorship. Macbeth was written during a politically sensitive time, and it is believed to contain veiled references to the Gunpowder Plot of 1605, an attempt to assassinate King James I. The play's exploration of regicide and the consequences of political upheaval raised concerns among authorities. As a result, Macbeth faced some censorship and alterations in subsequent performances to mitigate potential controversies. Influence on literature and drama. Macbeth has had a profound influence on subsequent literature and drama. It is often studied in schools and universities as an exemplary work of tragedy. The play's structure, character development, and themes have inspired countless writers and playwrights over the centuries. Macbeth's impact on the development of dramatic storytelling cannot be overstated. Portrayal of the supernatural. Macbeth's inclusion of supernatural elements, such as the witches and their prophecies, was highly significant for the time. It tapped into a fascination with the occult and the supernatural, which was prevalent in Jacobean society. The witches' scenes in the play contributed to the mystique and allure of Macbeth, capturing the imagination of the audience. In summary, Macbeth's impact on society during its time extended beyond its initial performances. It entertained and captivated audiences, influenced language and culture, offered political commentary. shaped literature and drama, and explored the supernatural in a way that resonated with the interests and concerns of the Jacobean society. The portrayal of mental and psychological deterioration. Macbeth's descent into madness and guilt throughout the play was a compelling exploration of the human psyche. The depiction of his internal struggle and the haunting visions he experiences resonated with the audience, providing a psychological depth that was both unsettling and thought-provoking. Influence on contemporary perceptions of Scotland. Macbeth is set in Scotland and features Scottish characters, providing a glimpse into the history and culture of the country. The play's portrayal of Scottish themes and characters shaped contemporary perceptions of Scotland, contributing to the construction of national identity during the Jacobean era. The role of fate and free will. Macbeth raises profound philosophical questions about the interplay between fate and free will. The witch's prophecies and Macbeth's subsequent actions explore the tension between predetermined destiny and individual agency. This philosophical dilemma engaged audiences and encouraged contemplation on the nature of human choices and their consequences. Impact on the theatre industry. Macbeth's popularity contributed to the financial success of theatre companies during the time. The play's appeal attracted large audiences and generated revenue for theatre owners and actors. Its success played a role in the flourishing theatre industry of the Jacobean era. The depiction of violence and spectacle. Macbeth contains several vivid and dramatic scenes of violence, including battles, murders, and supernatural occurrences. These spectacles, combined with Shakespeare's eloquent language, created a compelling theatrical experience. The play's portrayal of violence as both shocking and captivating catered to the tastes of the audience, which had an appetite for thrilling and dramatic entertainment. Influence on political and moral discourse. Macbeth sparked discussions and debates about the nature of political power, the consequences of unchecked ambition, and the moral implications of immoral actions. It prompted individuals to reflect on their own moral choices and the impact of their actions on society. The play's exploration of these themes contributed to the broader cultural and intellectual discourse of the time. Macbeth's impact on society at the time was multifaceted, encompassing its psychological depth, influence on perceptions of Scotland, philosophical inquiries, influence on the theatre industry, portrayal of violence, and contribution to political and moral discourse. The play's enduring relevance and continued popularity testify to its lasting impact on society beyond its original context. Exploration of the human condition. Macbeth delves into universal themes such as ambition, guilt, and the nature of evil. It offered audiences a profound exploration of the human condition, examining the inner struggles and moral dilemmas faced by its characters. By delving into these timeless themes, Macbeth resonated with the audience and provided a lens through which they could reflect on their own lives and choices. Reflection of religious beliefs and superstitions. During the Jacobean era, religious tensions were high, with conflicts between Protestants and Catholics. Macbeth incorporates elements of Catholic superstitions and beliefs, such as the witches and their prophetic powers. The play's portrayal of supernatural phenomena tapped into the prevailing religious beliefs and superstitions of the time, adding an intriguing layer of mysticism to the narrative. Impact on the perception of women. Lady Macbeth, with her ambitious and manipulative nature, challenged societal expectations of women during that era. Her character broke the mold of the submissive and virtuous woman, providing a complex and powerful portrayal of female agency. Lady Macbeth's boldness and ambition sparked discussions and debates about gender roles and the boundaries placed on women in society. Theatrical innovation and spectacle. Macbeth pushed the boundaries of theatrical techniques and spectacle during its time. It featured elaborate set designs, special effects, and atmospheric lighting to enhance the dramatic impact of the play. The visual and auditory elements of the production captivated the audience, elevating the overall theatrical experience and setting new standards for future productions. Influence on political and social stability. Macbeth served as a cautionary tale about the consequences of political instability and regicide. Its portrayal of the destructive effects of power struggles and the disruption caused by a usurping ruler provided a timely commentary on the importance of stable governance. The play reinforced the idea that a just and legitimate ruler was necessary for the well-being of society. Inspiration for artistic and literary works. Macbeth has inspired numerous adaptations, interpretations, and creative works over the centuries. It has been adapted into operas, ballets, films, and novels, among other artistic forms. Its characters, themes, and iconic scenes continue to be a rich source of inspiration for artists and writers, demonstrating the enduring impact and relevance of Shakespeare's tragedy. Macbeth's impact on society at the time encompassed its exploration of the human condition, reflection of religious beliefs and superstitions, influence on the perception of women, theatrical innovation, commentary on political and social stability, and its lasting influence on artistic and literary works. The play's ability to resonate with audiences and spark discussions on various aspects of human existence solidified its place as one of Shakespeare's most enduring works.